The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. Oh, I forgot to do something. You might want to know what this book is called. The title of this book is Where the Wild Things Are, and the author and the illustrator are Maurice Sendak. And the author of the story is the person who wrote the words, and the illustrator is the person who draws the pictures. So think about if you were to write a story, why you would want someone to know that you wrote the picture or drew the pictures or wrote the story. So, Where the Wild Things Are. Story and pictures by Maurice Sendak. Here we go. The night Max wore his wolf suit and made mischief of one kind. So, we just learned who the main character is. Max. And another. His mother called him a wild thing, and Max said, "I'll eat you up." So he was sent to bed without eating anything. So here he is wearing his wolf suit. Anybody have a suit at home or a costume at home that they have and like to wear? Tell your neighbor if you have one. Also, if you look on this page, I'll zoom in so you can see, Max looks pretty mad. Why do you think the illustrator wants to know, or the person who draws the pictures wants to know how Max feels? That very night in Max's room, a forest grew. And grew. And grew until a ceiling hung with vines, and the walls became the world around. What do you think is going to happen? I think that Max is going to get lost in his forest. And an ocean tumbled by with a private boat for Max, and he sailed off through night and day. Wonder where he's going to go. So my prediction is wrong. He's out of the forest, so he's not going to get lost. What do you think is going to happen? And in and out of weeks and almost over a year to where the wild things are. That dragon looks kind of scary to me. Hopefully Max isn't in trouble. And when he came to the place where the wild things are, they roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. How would you feel if you just rolled up and these scary wild things popped out at you? I'd be pretty scared. I think I'd go the other direction. Till Max said, "Be still," and tame them with the magic trick of staring into all their yellow eyes without blinking once. And they were frightened and called him the most wild thing of all. And made him king of all wild things. And now, cried Max, let the wild rumpus start. Wild rumpus? What's that? What do you think that is? Tell your neighbor what you think a wild rumpus start is. Just a couple blank pages showing you what they're doing. They kind of look like they're howling at the moon. Looks like they're having lots of fun. Here he is, king of the wild things. Now stop, Max said, and sent the wild things off to bed without their supper. And Max, the king of all wild things, was lonely and wanted to be where someone loved him best of all. Then all around from far away across the world, he smelled good things to eat. So he gave up being king of where the wild things are. Let's see. Max looks kind of sad. The illustrator wants you to know that he is sad. But the wild things cried, "Oh, please don't go. We'll eat you up. We love you so." And Max said, "No." The wild things roared their terrible roars and gnashed their terrible teeth and rolled their terrible eyes and showed their terrible claws. But Max stepped into his private boat and waved goodbye and sailed back over a year and in and out of weeks and through a day. Do you really think he's been gone a whole year? That's a long time. And into the night of his very own room where he found his supper waiting for him. Why do you think he's still at his supper? I bet it's because his mom loves him. And it was still hot. The end. Where the Wild Things Are by Marie Sendak. So now I'm going to tell you guys to get a partner, and one person is going to tell who the author of that story is or what the author does for a story, and the other person is going to tell who or what the illustrator does. And then when we're all done, we're going to come back and see who, if your partner, knew what the author or illustrator did for the story.